Hey, so I made a video. It's a little different than what I usually do. The response was positive, but there was also some confusion, so today I'm going to shed some light on that situation. I'm going to tell you what a figure feature is, how I got to this point, and where I can see the figure feature segment going in the future. But before I do that, if you haven't seen the video I'm talking about, you can do so right now by clicking the link over here. Now, a figure feature, or at least that's what I'm calling it, is going to be a video segment where I take one toy and I take one topic about the toy and I just focus on those two things in its entirety. In the case of the video I made for Figma Link, all I wanted to talk about was the nostalgia behind The Legend of Zelda that this figure brought out in me. That's it. That's all I really wanted to get across. A figure feature will not be a review. It is not a critique related to that. If I ever make a figure feature on a given, toy or figure, there will not be an accompanying review that will follow up with it. I just don't feel like doing that. I don't know. I just don't feel the need to make two videos about one given toy. It doesn't really matter to me. That's all it is. These videos will only ever be very short. I'm hoping to keep them at 3 minutes max. 2 minutes is kind of the window I want to be within. And yeah, that's all it is. It's just me talking about just one specific aspect about a toy. It doesn't even have to be about the toy. In fact, it could be a question I pose that's just related to the toy in general, but it talks more about maybe the series it comes from and whatnot. If anything, a figure feature for me will be this place where I can just express an opinion or put down a top or state a topic that I don't really have room for in a proper review. Now, speaking of reviews, how did I get to the figure feature thing? Well, for you long-time subscribers, you know that I do very, we'll say, structured reviews. They always start with the visuals, we move on to the moving bits, then there's accessories and overall thoughts. And that's cool, that's great, it's consistent, it's also monotonous. And as the person creating that kind of stuff, I get kind of tired of it. Especially in the case of pure action figures. And by that I mean Figma's, Figuarts, Marvel Legends, Hasbro Black Series, anything that's just a bog standard action figure. To me, I've been looking over these videos that I'm making and they're just like, I'm saying the same thing over and over again, maybe in different new ways, but the result is always the same. I always have the same sort of opinion at the end of the day, and it just kind of got boring. In fact, I do have a full review of this Figma Link, but on the final edit, on the final watch through, I watched it and I wasn't happy because it just felt so boring. And for a toy that really made me happy, I just felt like that's not something I want to do. So I'll switch it up, and I found this is kind of the perfect place to introduce the figure feature. Another thing too is I've been looking at YouTube analytics, which, I'm a numbers person. I love looking at numbers. And something that really I found interesting was the watch time on my videos. All my videos, they always correlate. The watch time is usually the same amount of time as the end of my video. The part where I give you my general thoughts or you get to see the fancy poses. And that got me thinking, I'm not the first person to ever make a review of anything. I'm usually the last, If you want the person who's gonna, if you want to say a Gundam review, I'm not the person to check out first. I'm usually the last person to get. There's always a billion other outlets out there who put out great content if you want to see it day and date of release. But the thing is, my videos still get plenty of traffic. People still come to them. And when I was looking at the watch time, something that clicked with me is you're still coming to my videos not because you want to know how the toy works, not because you want to know the specific details, but you just want my opinion, or you just want to see the fancy poses I put at the end. Either way, you're coming not because you want to see how it works, or at least that's the perception I'm getting. And the figure features would be for me to just get the opinion, and strictly just the opinion out there. I don't need to show you how the toy works, because at the end of the day, something that I've realized is that people who come to my reviews, in the comments, they'll love to type things I missed, things I didn't properly show, and that's cool, that's fine, you're right. I do skip over a lot of things because my mentality is, you probably know how it works. You just want to know what I think. And this all culminated into this whole alright, I'll just focus down my opinion to a singular point and then push it out the window like that. So that's basically what I'm doing here with the figure feature. The other thing is that it'll be a way for me to bring in, videos or make content on other items that I usually haven't before. By that I mean really large toys. toys. I don't review large toys, and I don't ever want to do them. Why? Because there's just so much to cover, and then you end up with a video that's like 40 minutes long. And as someone who really values time, I don't want to waste time. I don't want to waste your time. You know, every time I see a video that's like 45 minutes on a toy, I don't watch it. I just think, wow. I mean, that's great for the people who want that, but that's a lot of time to dedicate, and I just don't want to do that. However, with a figure feature, I can take, let's say, a giant Transformer, a giant Soul of Chogokin. I can bring it in, I can talk about a couple things about it that really speak to me, and then I can be done with it. And, you know, it satisfies the idea that, yes, I finally got to make a video about something I truly love, and I got to be able to express that to the audience why this is important to me. And that's what I want to do. I could also bring in statues, other things that I collect that generally don't really fit in the realm of my review style. The only other thing is, I hope that you guys enjoy it. It's not going to be something I do regularly. It's going to be very sporadic. The thing is, for as short and as easy as the video is to, I guess, consume, it's a lot harder for me to make, because when I write, I can't just be half brain dead. I have to really think about why it is I'm making this video, or why it is that I want to talk about it. It has to really spark that interest in me. But hopefully that explains a lot of what I want to do here. If you didn't really quite understand, I'm sorry. You can ask me the questions in the comments below. I'll try and elaborate more there. But hopefully going forward, you know, the figure feature is something that I can improve on. I still wasn't really happy with the way the Figma link turned out, but hey, you can only be a perfectionist for so long before you gotta send it out the window. I hope that you guys enjoy more of what I do, and thanks as always for the support, and I'll see you in another video.